Yes, hello guys, welcome on UPedia platform. I hope your interview preparation is going fine. So guys, let's start our discussion with very important interview questions which was recently asked in one of the PSU. Okay, what will happen actually to the efficiency of a thermal power plant if you will shift it from Tamil Nadu to Kashmir? So suppose there is a thermal power plant, steam based power plant. Okay, and we are shifting it from Tamil Nadu to Kashmir. So what will be the effect on that shifting on the efficiency of a plant? That is the question. So guys, you can easily answer this question if you are aware about the basic functioning or the basic factor on which the efficiency of plant depends. Guys, Tamil Nadu is a state which is very close to the coastal region. Okay, so in Tamil Nadu, the humidity, the relative humidity is high actually, because this region is very close to the कोस्टल सी के बहुत पास है, तो ह्यूमिडिटी क्या होती है, ज्यादा होती है. ह्यूमिड यू आल्सो नो साउथ में ह्यूमिडिटी क्या रहती है, थोड़ा ज्यादा रहती है. एंड इफ यू विल टॉक अबाउट कश्मीर, कश्मीर इज अ रीजन व्हिच इज इन हिमालयस रीजन, सो द एयर विच यू आर हैविंग दैट इज एक्चुअली अ ड्राई एयर. तो यहाँ पे हमें एयर जो मिलता है, कैसा एयर मिलता है, ह्यूमिड. ओके, humid air, hot and humid we can say. This is hot and humid, comparatively hot and humid we are saying, because इतना ज़्यादा cold नहीं मिलेगा. But in Kashmir you will have a comparatively cold and dry air. हमें air कैसा मिलेगा बच्चों, cold and dry air. And guys, efficiency किसी भी thermal power plant का theoretical efficiency, if I will define, efficiency is nothing but the W net work output divided by heat supplied. So you can write it as nothing but Q net divided by heat supplied. Okay, so you can write it as 1 minus what, Q rejection by Q supplied. Yes or no? 1 minus Q rejection by Q supplied. Okay. And guys, if rejection is more, the efficiency is going to decrease. Rejection कम होना चाहिए, but it doesn't mean कि you can make that rejection zero. That is not possible, because if you will make this rejection zero, the efficiency will become 100%. That is actually not possible. That is actually a violation of second law of thermodynamics. So surely there will be some rejection. Okay, but if the rejection is minimum, we will have efficiency higher. Okay, but guys, here if you will talk about the Tamil Nadu and Kashmir, you can say कि sir, रिजेक्शन तो यहाँ पे कश्मीर में है. सपोज इफ यू आर कैरिंग आउट रिजेक्शन इन द कंडेंसर, हीट रिजेक्शन, सो इट विल बी मोर इफेक्टिव. सो हीट रिजेक्शन तो एक्चुअल में क्या हो रहा है, ज्यादा इफेक्टिव हो रहा है. ओके, ज्यादा होगा. एंड वी कैन से इफेक्टिव रिजेक्शन इज देयर इन कश्मीर एज कंपेयर टू तमिलनाडु, बिकॉज इफ यू विल टॉक अबाउट कूलिंग टावर विच इज एक्चुअली देयर इन तमिलनाडु, in that cooling tower, the air which you are actually forcing with some kind of induced fan into the cooling tower, that air is the at hot air and humid air, so there will be no effective rejection, heat rejection नहीं होगा यहाँ पे. Okay, and here the air which is entering, that will enter at a low temperature, and dry air है तो effective heat transfer will be there, and effective condensation will happen into the condenser, because you will be able to decrease the water temperature to a very low value in the cooling tower. I will discuss all these things, don't worry. So effective rejection is there in case of if you are running a plant in Kashmir. So the plant efficiency is going to increase if you are shifting it from Tamil Nadu to Kashmir. But there are chances कि interviewer can confuse you in between कि you are saying कि rejection is required to be minimum. How actually effective rejection is improving the plant efficiency? Are you getting the point? What we are saying, rejection, if it is minimum, we will have more efficiency. Okay, but we are carrying out this effective rejection. How effective heat rejection is important, means heat rejection is required, but if you are effectively rejecting that heat, then the plant efficiency is actually going to increase. But if you are not effectively rejecting heat, okay, condenser में if the effective condensation is not happening, the condenser pressure is going to increase. And if there is an increase in the condenser pressure, guys, the condenser pressure is nothing but the turbine exit pressure. So condenser exit pressure will increase due to, you can say, if effective condensation is not there, effective heat transfer is not there in the condenser, then turbine pressure will also increase, exit pressure, and due to that increase in the turbine exit pressure, the work output of the turbine is going to decrease. So overall, the effect is to decrease the work output if you will shift to a region where heat rejection is not effective. But here, when you are shifting it from Tamil Nadu to Kashmir, in Kashmir we will able to carry out effective condensation, so heat transfer is going to increase, and the condenser pressure we will able to achieve to a very low value. So condenser pressure low हो जाएगा, so what you can say, the pressure difference between the inlet pressure at the turbine and the exit pressure, that will be more, and the work output will increase. The area, closed area in that Rankine cycle also increase, because we will be able to maintain lower condenser pressure. What is actually all these things are happening? Let me discuss with you. So some brief idea you need to have about the Rankine cycle and the schematic diagram of a thermal power plant. So let me show you one picture. You know guys, this is actually a Rankine cycle. Okay, I am showing only superheating, but in real case there may be reheating also, multiple reheating we can carry out. There may be regeneration also. Okay, but this time I am not going to that part. What is reheating? What is regeneration? So simple Rankine cycle I am showing you with superheating. So this 2 point is the entry to the condenser, 3 is the exit to the condenser. Let me first discuss with you this 2 and 3 only, because in from 2 to 3 only we are rejecting heat. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है बच्चों? Heat rejection. Okay, and this 4 to 1 is actually heat addition. Okay, ये क्या हो रहा है? 2 to 3, and this is heat addition from where? 4 to 1. 4 to 1 क्या होता है? Heat addition. This 2 to 3 is a heat rejection, and this closed area is nothing but Q net. Okay, because heat addition minus rejection, this closed area is going to give us Q net, and you know Q net equal to W net. So if this area is more, we will get more work output, and if this area is less, we will get less work output. So suppose keeping same heat addition, if you are able to maintain lower condenser pressure, अगर हम लोअर कंडेंसर प्रेशर रख देते हैं, so this line will be lower than this if you are maintaining lower condenser pressure. Okay, so the net closed area is going to increase, so work output is going to increase and efficiency of the plant will increase. Are you getting why? Because work output is increasing. ठीक है बच्चों? Okay, so one more thing you need to understand, what do you mean by effective heat rejection? Effective heat rejection से क्या मतलब है? Guys, you know this is your turbine. Turbine के exit पे क्या मिलेगा? We will have steam. Generally we will have a steam close to the saturated condition. Okay, so this is 0.2, very close. You can say which is having dryness friction close to 0.95. Okay, it is almost saturated. So this is the exit of the turbine, and this saturated steam will enter into the condenser where heat rejection will takes place. यहाँ पे क्या होगा बच्चों? Rejection is going to takes place. Okay, so this steam, the change of phase of the steam is going to happen by rejecting heat to the water. So cold water will enter. This is actually a kind of heat exchanger. Cold water is entering from this side, and this side hot water is leaving. Okay, so if you are able to supply sufficiently low temperature water into the condenser, we will be able to carry out effective condensation in this particular condenser. And if effective condensation is taking place in the condenser temperature will be low. Guys, when the condenser pressure is going to increase, the condenser pressure will increase if we are not able to carry out effective condensation. In case of like if your plant is very close to the coastal region, so the relative humidity of the air is very high, so in cooling tower when we are supplying air, hot air and humid air, so that air which is already which is actually what you can say humid air, because its humidity is very high, so it is going to take less water vapor with it, बहुत कम वाटर लेगी, because already वो क्या है, humid है. So effective heat transfer does not take place into the cooling tower. Why? Because the air is already what you can say humid air. Okay, saturated air है अगर आपके पास. But if you are supplying, but suppose if that cooling tower is placed into some kind of environment where you are having dry air. Okay, so if dry air is going to enter, it is having capacity to hold huge amount of water vapor in it, and when huge amount of water vapor, it will take into it, so the temperature of this water, hot water, is going to decrease to a very lower value. Are you getting my point, guys? In this cooling tower, you know, evaporative cooling is taking place. Cooling tower में क्या होता है? Evaporative cooling होता है. This is the largest structure in any cooling tower. किसी भी cooling tower, in any thermal power plant, guys, if you will observe, आपको एक सबसे बड़ा structure दिखेगा. Generally ये जो cooling tower होती है hyperbolic shape होता है. Okay, normally generally they are having that hyperbolic shape, so that effective flow of the air will takes place. We will have a natural draft actually. We provide this hyperbolic shape so that we will have a natural draft into the cooling tower. Okay, अगर natural draft मिलेगा तो आपको induced fan लगाने पड़ेंगे. But in real case we provide here induced fan. यहाँ पे हम ID fan लगा के रखते हैं बच्चों, ID fans. Okay, और ये ID fan क्या करते हैं? They force atmospheric air into the cooling tower, and when that air will flow upward into the cooling tower, from top we will spray hot water, so there will be direct mixing of the air and hot water will take place. Some amount of the water vapor will be carried out by the air in the form of vapor only. So small amount of water, liquid, this is hot water will convert into what? Vapor. And when you know guys, when water is converted into vapor, it is going to take latent heat. Liquid का conversion हो रहा है vapor में, so latent heat लेगा, and from where it is going to take that latent heat? It will take that latent heat from its neighboring particle only. So small amount of water will go as a vapor into the air, but the remaining water will fall at a very low temperature. That is actually a basic principle of the evaporative cooling. द सेम थिंग विच एक्चुअली हैपन्स इन अवर डेजर्ट कूलर ऑल्सो. हमारे घरों में जो कूलर होता है उसमें भी क्या होता है, इवोपरेटिव कूलिंग होती है. सो ड्यू टू द एयर विच इज एक्चुअली एंटरिंग, विच इज कोल्ड एयर and dry air, there will be effective heat transfer and we will able to get very low temperature hot water, low temperature cold water, and when that low temperature water will enter into the condenser, effective heat transfer, effective condensation is going to take place in the condenser, and we will be able to achieve a very low condenser pressure, so the work output will increase and efficiency of the plant will increase. Are you getting? So this is a very simple question which you can answer like this. Let me discuss one more very important point. Interviewer can confuse you, why actually we are placing condenser, why not we are directly supplying the steam which is coming out from the turbine into the you can say boiler. Okay, why actually we are rejecting it? It is possible. You can say, sir, actually theoretically it is not possible because that is a violation. We need to reject some amount of heat. But they can ask you, no, like violate that second law of thermodynamics. Just show us, you can say practically, why actually it is not possible. Why we cannot supply steam which is actually directly coming out from the turbine into the boiler, so that heat addition into the boiler will increase. Are you getting my point? Because when the steam is coming out from the turbine, why not we are supplying steam directly into the boiler? Okay. Why actually it is not practically possible? So what you need to say, sir, if you will supply steam directly into the boiler, so sir, actually first thing is, for circulating the steam we require a compressor. We cannot circulate steam with the help of pump. So 3 to 4 we need to supply pump work, okay, which is actually very small. Why? Because at this point 3 we are having water, saturated water, not steam. So if we will supply steam here directly, for circulating that steam we need to have some kind of compressor, because you know compressor is required to circulate gases, and steam is a kind of gas only, okay, and we cannot circulate steam with a pump. That's the first thing. And sir, compressor work will be huge as compared to the pump work. Okay, they will say, okay, forget about that. Okay, you can attach some compressor for circulating that. And sir, second thing, when we are supplying steam only to the you can say boiler directly, so sir, here the pressure, the steam which is entering into the turbine, and the pressure at the exit, the difference in the pressure is very less. Why? Sir, at the inlet we are having steam, at the exit also we are having steam. So actually the pressure difference is very negligible. We are not going to get any kind of work output. Why? Because sir, when we will condense, why we are condensing that steam into water? Because that condensation is actually resulting into the very low exit pressure. So when we condense the steam, you know, huge amount of volume of water which is actually present in the vapor form, you are converting into liquid, and when you will convert it into liquid, its specific volume is going to decrease. So uska jo pressure hoga, the pressure is going to decrease to a very low value. So if you are having steam at the exit only, the difference in pressure will be very negligible, and actually we will not able to develop any kind of work. However, if you will able to develop any small amount of work, so we need to supply even the very high amount of work, more than the work which you are getting into the turbine. More than that we need to supply into the compressor. So actually in that entire system, when we are supplying steam directly to the boiler, okay, so the work which will get into the turbine, that will be very less as compared to the work which we need to supply into the compressor. So overall that device will not work as a heat engine. Why? Because heat engine is a how you going to define a heat engine, guys? Heat engine is a cyclic device, produces work continuously by converting part of heat input into the work and rejecting remaining to the surrounding. So heat engine क्या है? Cyclic device, producing work continuously. But this device is not work in that case when you will supply steam directly into the boiler. That is not going to work like a heat engine. Why? Because you are not going to get any kind of net work in output. Why? Because even we need to supply some work input, because the compressor work will be more as compared to the work which you are going to get out from the turbine. Are you getting point? So net we need to supply work in case of like so that device is not going to work like a heat engine. Are you getting point? Heat engine में तो अपने को work मिलता है, net work, but here we need to supply work. Okay, so that will become a work absorbing device. Okay, and we don't want that. We want a heat engine, we want a device which is actually going to produce some kind of net work output. So are you getting my point? So practically also this is not possible, because if you are directly supplying steam into the boiler, the turbine exit pressure is going to increase. Okay, first you need to attach compressor. Second, the difference in pressure will be very low, the turbine work will be very less, even it will be very less as compared to the work which is required to circulate that turbine into the compressor. So overall we will get a work absorbing device. Okay, so that cyclic device heat engine is not possible like that, and yes, theoretically also that is not possible, because heat engine is possible when it is interacting with the two energy reservoir. From one it is taking heat and to another it is rejecting it. When you are directly supplying steam into the boiler, actually we are not rejecting any heat. हम तो heat reject ही नहीं कर रहे हैं, because there is no condenser. If there is no condenser means your engine, heat engine is working between with only one energy reservoir. That is not theoretically, not practically possible. I think you will be able to justify it how it is not practically possible, and theoretically also you know about second law of thermodynamics, you know about PMM2, you know about 100% efficiency concept, that is not possible, and you know about that Kelvin Planck statement. With that theoretically you can justify. So I told you how to justify the role of condenser theoretically and practically. Okay, and what will happen to the efficiency of the plant when you will shift it from Tamil Nadu to Kashmir? So efficiency of the plant will increase, and why it is increasing, that also you will be able to justify. I hope you are able to understand this particular point. This time I am not discussing with you what is range of cooling tower, what is what you can say this approach of a cooling tower. These are another important terms related to cooling tower. I will discuss later on. Okay, and I am not discussing regeneration, reheating, all those things. Today in this particular video I am focusing on the efficiency. What will be the effect on the efficiency of plant when we'll shift it from Tamil Nadu to Kashmir? Okay, there may be some other factor like the transportation, like maybe you can say cost of you can say, because in Kashmir you know the coal is not available, so you need to transport it from some location to Kashmir, and that is actually we need to bear some more extra cost in transporting that fuel to a region which is not easily accessible. So that factor is not required to be discussed this time, because when he is saying what is the effect on the efficiency, so you need to think of the external conditions only. You need not to worry about those other factors. Okay, land cost or the transportation cost, those may be some other factor that you can consider later stage, but this time you need to focus on that only, efficiency versus what you can say when you will shift it from one location to another location. So keep preparing guys, and again we will meet and we will discuss some more questions. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.